Julie and I have for years worked together on our career. We're kind of like Batman and Robin, except that I'm Robin and she's Batman. But lately, she's gotten a job. She's a VP of marketing. I'm kind of tired of failing.
Is there something beneath I'm tired of failing, which is I'm tired of feeling like a failure in my own house? What's going on? What's going on? This is John with the Dr. John Delony Show, taking your calls from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm in Nashville. You guys are all over the world. Amazing men and women who are brave and who just don't have anybody else to talk to. Pulling up a seat and saying, hey, what's the next right move in this crazy world that we live in? If you want to be on the show, go to johndelony.com/ask. ASK, I'd love to have you on. Fill out the form, send it to Kelly. And we don't screen them with AI, we screen them with humans. Kelly's kind of AI. Very, very older edition of AI. What do you call it? Like the dial-up. Kelly is dial-up AI. Reach out, johndelony.com/ask, and we'll get you on the show. All right, we're going to talk to a couple right now in Salt Lake City, Utah. So first, we're going to go to Julie. What's up, Julie?
Hey, Dr. John, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well, thanks. Thanks so much for taking our call.
Of course. All right, let me bring on Jack here. All right, let it rip.
All right. So Julie and I have for years worked together on our career. I'm an entrepreneur. I dragged her into this. We're kind of like Batman and Robin, except that I'm Robin and she's Batman. She's turned out to be a rock star at business, marketing, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, we're at a point in our career where I'd like to keep going with our joint effort just because it's been super fulfilling to work together. And the things that I'm not good at in business, she's awesome at. And, but lately, like the last few months, she's gotten a job. She's like a VP of marketing with a company, CMO, these high ranking titles. She's just a ninja at what she does. So the problem we're running into, we keep having we're kind of going in a circle over and over about, how to work together, sort of, or how to thrive still while not working together. And it just seems to be a bit of an impasse because the career that I'm in, it's really too much for just me by myself to handle. There's so much to running a business. You probably already know that, but aside from just making the product, there's so much sales, marketing, taxes, accounting, all the things, right? That it worked really well when we worked together, but doing it on my own, I'm pretty much floundering. So Julie's in the tough spot of her own career is doing super well, but she sees me floundering and then feels like she has to help me, right? And I don't want someone who feels like they have to help me. That's not fun.
But you want her to want to help you.
Well, yeah. But if she said,
bingo.
If she said today, fine, I'll help you. I would say, well, I don't want help like that, right? I mean, nobody wants that. But anyway, overall, we love working together. She's fantastic. I could not speak highly enough of her in every way.
Sure.
But we just keep going in circles and kind of just not getting out of this loop of...
It's the dance. Yeah, it's just the dance. All right, Julie, how do you respond to that? Or what do you want to add to that?
I would say that's accurate. One important piece of this, I think, is that as he mentioned, we did build something together and we actually sold it. a few years ago, which put us in an interesting situation is, do we build something new or do we kind of go our separate ways? And that was the point where we kind of went our separate ways. I wasn't really interested necessarily in building that same type of thing again. But where we're coming up on the issue, so I'll just add to this, is that Jack feels that he maybe can't succeed without my help. And then I feel guilty because of some of those things that he'll say in that regard. Like, do I owe that to him to help him fulfill, his entrepreneurial dreams, his talents? Do I owe that to him? And then one thing that comes up regularly is that, we've worked well together, as he said, and he's now said, I don't feel like we're partners anymore. And I feel like we don't have that relationship anymore. He's super service oriented and is always doing things to help me. And he'll say, it seems like if you love me, you would want to help me. You would want to serve me. That would be the nice thing to do, is to help me with this business. And so then I feel guilty, but then I also feel conflicted because I'm having my own success and enjoying that. Yeah. And so, like you said, it's this dance that we keep, and it seems like it just doesn't get resolved. And I know there are layers and ego and issues and all of these things, but for me, it feels like it's getting bigger. Yeah. And so I wanted, some wisdom and an outside source to be able to tell us where we need to course correct.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing I want to say out loud is, I hear that y'all two love each other.
We do.
Definitely.
She is awesome.
Okay.
I'm not kidding.
Okay. So,
and vice versa,
but this is good. So she's told you, I don't want to do that anymore. And that there's something beneath the business. In some way, it feels to you like, I don't want to do, like, it feels very personal. Tell me about that.
Well, I definitely want to succeed as a guy in providing for my family.
But y'all are providing for your family. She's crushing it right now. So is it about she makes more money than you? Like, give me that thing. Why are you feeling less than?
Well, I don't mind her making more money than me, and I don't begrudge her success. I'm really actually very happy I'm her biggest cheerleader and fan.
Sure.
But over the last, since we sold our company, and I'm back. I'm ready to do another round of this. I'm kind of tired of failing on my side of this in the career. So I'm in a little bit of a no-win
let's
situation.
Pause right there. Let's get right beneath that. All entrepreneurs, this, have a low success rate. And then they win, and then you get back in the batter's box, and you strike out, and you strike out, and you strike out. Is there something beneath I'm tired of failing, which is I'm tired of feeling like a failure in my own house, in my own skin?
Well, yes. But the thing that makes that complicated is I could succeed if I had her help.
And see,
right?
I don't think that's true. I think y'all did once. Here's my deeper question. Y'all did a thing together. Y'all built an amazing thing, and then you sold it. How have y'all rebuilt connection, laughter, shared purpose, sex, joy? How have you rebuilt those things absent from working on a business together in part 2 of your marriage?
Well, we bought a French bulldog together.
Right.
I'm the caretaker. But
here's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if, yes, there's the business stuff. Y'all have been to the top of the mountain. Y'all built something together, but every day y'all woke up and you had a shared purpose together.
Yep.
Y'all did a thing together. She was the pitcher. You were the first baseman, and y'all won a championship, and it was awesome. Inside your own house. It feels awesome.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
And then the championship was over. The champagne runs out. And then she went and started pitching for another team.
Yeah, she did.
And you're excited for her. She's crushing it. She's doing good. And you're sitting on the same first base team that you were on last time. You got nobody on the mound right now. You're trying to pitch too, and that's not going well. Great. But the question beneath that is everybody wants business success, and it's hard when you have a rock star. In my house, undoubtedly, no question, my wife is a better writer than me. No question. And so that we stay married, we don't read each other's drafts. Period. Because I take all of her critiques very personally. It hurts. I feel like, oh, you think I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm not enough. Yeah, and that sends me on a spiral. And she doesn't like, so we just can't. But that means we have to together create other shared purposes where we can be successful together. And I'm wondering if, yes, you're missing the business success, but deep down, you're missing your wife.
Well, yes, I think you're right on a lot of that. And the problem now is that her career, she's the pitcher for another team. She's very busy. She's not the kind of job that ends, right? I mean,
CMOs, dude, you're on call 24/7. That's right.
And mine, trying to relaunch a new endeavor and round 2 of this, that's a heavy lift too. And so we're starting to get to the point where she gets home from work and whatever, and we have dinner, and then I'm going back to work. She's going back to work. And that on her job.
Just pause right there. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Is this terrifying?
Let's do something together.
Well, but that's the terrifying, scary question. We're in marriage part 2, and this may be your 3rd marriage or your 4th marriage, right? Everybody builds new ones, whether they know they're building them or not. And the question is, do you still see me? Do you still like me? And if you have this feeling, this memory of this shared purpose where you felt, I did my thing, you did your thing, and together we created an awesome thing, it can feel real lonely. When one of you's winning, one of you's not, it can feel really lonely when you just are constantly remember how it used to be. And I know how we can get back there today. We can both do a new business together.
Right.
And so the question beneath that question, I'll ask you, Julie, is what does it look like to say, hey, I'm winning in my career. You're struggling to get back off the ground. I see you struggling. I know I could come over and fix it. I don't want that to be part of my life anymore. And that's okay. But the deeper thing is, how do we reprioritize this amazing adventure we set out together on called not starting a business, but being married? And that usually starts with couples sweeping the deck and saying, hi, my name is Julie. Hi, my name is Jack. I like you. And that, of course, I know you all love each other, but I like you. How can I love you today? And let's rebuild our marriage. Y'all have a new system. Y'all have a new plan. Y'all have a new thing. That means you're going to have to, instead of having to meet all day because if you have a shared business, now you have to decide we're going to prioritize each other on the calendar and meet together. Instead of just having work dinners where y'all ended up having dates where y'all talked about shared business things, we're going to have put dates on the calendar and talk about things that each other's working on. You see what I'm saying? There's a level of intentionality that has to happen because it was all wound up in this shared purpose we had earlier.
So how do we leave? I love what you're saying. I think this direction is, I think, what we need to hear. How do we leave behind the idea that what will fix it is working together? I mean, how do we move past that? Because I feel like that's the conversation that we're having every day.
Jack, you answer that question.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Jack, you answer that question.
Well, it's helpful. I think the most helpful thing would be 9 times out of 10, Julie will say, hey, I'm not going back. I'm not helping. I'm moving on. 1 out of 10 times, she'll say, hey, I might come back. Hey, let's maybe do this again.
So you're telling me there's a chance
to just shut the door. I'd rather have just shut the door completely.
Okay. But that's a huge responsibility to put on her. Because 90% of the time she's told you, I love you and I want to be married to you and I want to figure out how to be your number one priority in the world, but I don't want to do this thing. And then she watches you melt, and she watches you mope, and she watches you be sad and feel like I'm failing. And even when I just first met you, you told me about all the things you're deficient in. I don't even know what business you do, but I guarantee you're good at what you do.
I am.
Right? And so,
but not all of it.
Of course. But dude.
He's very good at it. Yeah.
I'm terrible at certain stuff. That's why I've got a whole team of people on the other side of the glass here in the studio. And so it's recognizing just because I'm not good at these things doesn't mean I'm less than. But you're putting her in a position, you break up with me. Instead of hearing the 90% of the time, the 9 out of 10 times she says, I'm really feeling fulfilled in this version of my professional self right now. And you have to ask yourself, okay, what kind of marriage do I want to build with somebody? That's just a huge responsibility to tell somebody else to break up with you. I guess she already has 9 times out of 10. And the question I would have for you if we were just meeting one-on-one is, why do you equate her wanting to go be successful in a new job as somehow I don't like being with you? Or even deeper, now you're not likable. When's the last time, Julie, you looked at your husband and said, I see how hard you're grinding at this, and I'm proud of how hard you're working?
Well, if I'm not answering, that probably means way too long, huh?
Or even saying,
Jack, maybe you can answer that.
My guess is probably never.
Yeah.
Or
maybe never.
When's the last time, Jack, you felt her getting up and going to work and that entrepreneurial, I call it the proverbial blinking cursor, right? Somebody you love is off making a paycheck and you're just staring at the cursor saying, create as an entrepreneur. And you just feel abandoned. And you put your fist in your chest, Jack, and said, I'm so grateful to have a wife that's out there crushing it. I know she loves me, and my feelings are mine right now. I feel less than right now. Or even deeper, when's the last time, Jack, you said, Julie, thank you for stepping out of this dance and going to make a whole bunch of money and be really successful. I'm grateful for you.
I hope we say things like that. Maybe not quite those words, but Julie knows how proud I am of her. I tell her frequently.
Do you say it?
Very often.
Okay.
Daily.
Okay.
I'm very. She's. Hey, I think a lot. I think really, if you go deep, I know she's not very proud of me as a provider.
I think that's a story you're telling yourself.
That she's made that clear.
Okay.
That she was very disappointed and basically got to a point where she said, "You're not cutting it. I'm going to have to I'm going to take care of myself."
Okay. And Julie, if you said those things, there's 2 sides to this. If you said those things, you all need to sit down off air and have that conversation. The other side of that is as the great Brene Brown once said, what you go looking for in the world, you're sure to find. And in those seasons when I think I'm a failure, when I'm not cutting it, I interpret every glance of my wife as criticism. I interpret every hour she's off trying to make some money as a failure. Because that's what I feel in my chest, and so I go looking for it to prove that story out. And so, Julie, if you've told him, I'm not proud of you, you're failing, I've got to go keep this family afloat, then y'all need to have that conversation. And Jack, it's you being able to exhale and say, okay, it's not going to happen this second time. And now I've got a hobby.
Yeah.
And now it's time for me to grieve this thing that I wanted to make happen again. It's not going to happen again. And by the way, you told yourself a story that if she would just quit and join you, it would happen again. As an entrepreneur, we all have to know that's not true.
Well, she's that good, actually, that I would say it would.
I know. I'm just, dude, I work with behind closed doors with really famous people who were famouser yesterday.
Right.
with really successful people who were really, really successful last month. It's a dragon. It's a ghost that you chase. But what I'm hearing is from the both of you is two things. One, y'all need to sit down and have the conversation. Like put some finality to it. I love this career, and I feel like somebody's got to support the family. And Julie, if you're disappointed in Jack and his inability to provide for y'all, you've got to put that on the table in that clear of words, not in a mean way, but in a kind, honest way. Using I words. I don't feel safe in this house because we don't have enough money. Or I'm watching the man I love dig himself a deeper and deeper hole. And I miss you. And Jack, you have to be able to exhale and say, the woman I love and dedicated my life to has said she doesn't want to build another business, not with me, but she just doesn't want to build another business. And so I need to uncouple my view of myself as a really talented, successful, whatever it is you're doing, to I'm a failure and loser of a husband. Now I'm a dog dad. And then you'll have to sit down at the table and say, I miss you. I'm not going to leave. Will you build a new thing with me? And that looks like coffee in the mornings. That looks like acts of service. Hang on the line. I'll hook you up with my Together app, and y'all can start working that together. Just one daily step a day to bring you back together.
That's awesome.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
So we didn't solve anything today, Julie and Jack, but we hopefully cleared the deck a little bit so y'all can be honest with each other, sit across the table and say, I still like you. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I don't like you. I'm going to have that conversation. But from here, y'all can create and build anything. Y'all are entrepreneurs. Go make it happen. When we come back, we talk to a woman who is fighting to protect her sister-in-law while everyone in her family is looking the other way. I want to invite you to something really cool happening this month. Hallow, which is the prayer app that I use every day, is teaming up with the Bible app and other Christian organizations all over the world for Global Bible Month. Heading into the holidays, there's no better time to slow down, reconnect with your spiritual life, and bring prayer back into your daily routine. During Global Bible Month, Hallow will offer a 30-day Bible story challenge. These are some of the most popular stories in the Bible read by incredible voices that you already know and love, like Lauren Daigle, Jonathan Rumi, and more. And while you're using Hallow, check out their thousands of prayers and meditations, as well as their sleep series that can fill your mind with positive thoughts and stories as you drift off to sleep. Join me and millions of others around the world for Global Bible Month on Hallow. We can dive into Scripture together. Join Hallow right now, and you get 3 months for free. Go to hallow.com/Delony. That's Hallow, HALLOW.com/Delony. All right, I've been telling everybody about Cozy Earth's bamboo sheets and pajamas for a long time now. They give you that kind of comfort that makes coming home from a chaotic workplace or a wild, nutty world a reason to relax and even celebrate. And now that the weather is cooler, I want to tell you about Cozy Earth's soft wash cotton sheets. I love sleeping on cotton sheets in the fall and the winter. These amazing cotton sheets give you that perfect broken-in feel that your favorite shirt gets after years of wear. They're so great. Cozy Earth's new cotton sheets feel like this right out of the package. They're breathable, cozy, and they make you feel at home like you've been sleeping on them for years, but in the best kind of way. As always, Cozy Earth's new soft wash cotton sheets come with a 100-night sleep trial. You can try them out. If you don't love them, you can return them hassle-free, but I'm telling you, you're not going to want to. Right now, Black Friday has come early at Cozy Earth. Go to CozyEarth.com/Delony and use code Delony on top of their site-wide sale, and it's going to give you up to 40% off in savings. These deals will not last, so start your holiday shopping early. That's CozyEarth.com/Delony. Use code Delony. All right, let's go out to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and talk to Lauren. What's up, Lauren?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course. Thanks for calling. What's up?
Yeah, so I'll be brief. I have abuse in my past, domestic violence in my past.
I'm
so I
sorry.
left a few abusive relationships. But the point is that I'm intimately familiar with the process. I've since educated myself. I've gone through PTSD, therapy. I've done the whole gambit. So fast forward, I'm married to a wonderful man,
Awesome.
and his brother. Yeah, he's great. His brother. Was atrociously violent with his wife, my sister-in-law.
Oh man,
And they have two children. So I knew it when I met him. Victims know. I feel like you can feel it. So I told him when I met him, don't leave me alone with this man. There's something wrong. I bet you he hurts her. And then fast forward, it comes out he was arrested for strangulation, assault with a deadly weapon for her, and so much more, because you and I both know victims won't really tell you the whole truth.
Okay, hold on. Sit with me for a second. You're taking off on a train track on me. Sit with me.
Sorry.
Okay, no, you're okay. Don't ever apologize. I just want you to stay with me now. Listen to me now, okay? You've been unsafe in the past, and you're okay right now, okay?
Yes, I am.
You're with me. You can exhale. Drop your shoulders. I can hear them all the way up around your ears.
Yeah, I'm shaking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good. I'm proud of you for having the courage to tell your story, what happened, and I can feel the advocacy coming out, which is awesome. I love fierce advocates. I love them.
Okay. Do you want me to continue? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it. No, don't ever stop. No apologizing. No apologizing.
So yeah, fast forward. And she would call me because I said, look, I can tell something's wrong. If you ever need me, please call me. And so, she would share with me, he'd hide keys, he would lock her in rooms, like things that really bad things. And there's worse going on. And after a while, I told her, look, okay, I can't hear this. It's taking me to a bad place. Call me when you're done. So she called me last year. We put together a safety plan. She left, got a protection order, and he moved in with my in-laws.
Oh, God.
And yes. And the in-laws called me and said, I know you've been through this. What do we do? And I said, we have to be in her corner right now. And he needs to face consequences, right? This is what we have to do. My husband's in law enforcement, and he's seen this too. So we were both on the same page. We opened our home to her and the kids. And the siblings rallied behind her. There's a lot of siblings in this household. And we had Christmas at our house without the in-laws and him, because no one wanted to be around him. So fast forward.
Hold on. So her mom and dad chose him?
No, his parents. She doesn't have anyone.
Okay.
Unfortunately. So we rallied around her, but they chose to have Christmas with him without their grandkids, without anybody else. And this man is not good. It has since come out that there was sexual abuse perpetrated by him in the household.
Okay, hold on. Let's stop talking about him. He's a he's a terrible sick person.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But your body's need to protect you keeps him front and center, which means in a strange way, he's running your life.
Oh, I want to do things to this man. I know you do.
I know you do. But listen, that puts him 2 inches from your eyesight at all times. And in a weird way, that gives him a strange power over your life. Let's set that guy down.
Okay.
That doesn't mean we don't pursue justice. That doesn't mean that we don't take care of it. But he is not going to run my life. Okay.
I will.
Every time you feel yourself heading off towards, if I just had 5 minutes with him, whatever, in the nerd world, we call that rumination, but you are having imaginary conversations, you're having imaginary fist fights with him, you're having these, but your body doesn't know the difference. And it has a script for fight or flight because you've been through this hell before.
Yeah.
And there's times when abuse victims, I'll tell them, when you feel that imaginary conversation pop up, literally say out loud, no, not having this conversation. Because he's not there. He's not there, right?
Bye, Felicia. Yeah, bye, Felicia. I can do that.
Not having, and then here's the magic, because that sounds trite and easy. You have to refill that gap, that space that you just cut off with a positive interaction about your husband, about your sister-in-law, about somebody else. That's where most people don't get it right. They just say like, no. And then he's like, oh yeah. And there's nothing to backfill it.
All right. That's helpful. Thank you.
And so you starting that imaginary conversation again, here we go. And usually it's weird. Either people are in the shower or they're driving.
For sure.
And it's like, I'm just, and your body's like, oh, game on again. It flips the switch and you are flooded with action chemicals. Let's go. Mm-hmm. But that's when your husband gets in the car and says, hey, good afternoon. And you're like, what? Right? Or your kid's like, hey, mom. And you're like, don't hey me. Right? And suddenly other people that you love and care about walk into a buzzsaw. You see what I'm saying?
I do. And I'm always on my toes like that. And I went to therapy too, because if I saw him, I was going to throw down. But that isn't even my question. So we recently got together as a family, and I could not handle these people acting like everything was fine.
Okay, stop. Stop.
Yeah.
Then don't.
What do you mean?
Your whole life has been you thrown in the trunk of somebody else's car driving the direction they wanted to go. And I want you to sit firmly in the front seat of your own life. If other people are going to be morons.
That's what my husband says. Then he knows how to do this. I don't.
But I'm just telling you, it sounds so overly complicated. This is not a problem you're going to solve with facts. This isn't a problem you're going to solve with anger or rage. They have picked their team. The only person you can control here is you. And what that means is I am not going to let people who protect violent criminals who hurt women, they don't get a vote in my day. I'm going to call the police and I'm going to go on about my life.
Well, if it was within the jurisdiction here, we would call the police. That's not a problem.
Then if you can, you can't, right? But
right. They're in a different city, and so when we get together, I just don't understand how
you won't, because it's madness.
Yeah. Well, then how do you interact with these people?
You don't.
I don't.
They have.
Can I just check out? Because I don't know.
No.
I don't know how this works.
They have opted out of your life. They opted out. And then the step you're skipping here is grief. I'm so sad. You won't never find a rational answer to an irrational act. Ever. And it's that old proverb. I've said it 20 times on the show. I finally sat down with my anger and she took off her mask and revealed herself as grief. I am sad that I have this picture of my family. I have been a good person. I've endured hell. I married well. And yet somebody else, some other violent, evil person ends up in my family and disrupts this picture that I've worked so hard to preserve. That should make me heartbroken and sad.
Thank you.
And if you haven't wept for the picture that should be, families taking care of each other, criminals in jail, you need to spend some time in grief. And grief, and by the way, grief for an abuse survivor is terrifying because grief is submission. It's humility. It's saying, I can't carry this any longer. And for an abuse survivor, that feels like weakness and exposure.
Yeah.
It feels like powerlessness.
Okay. Dang it, I didn't think I'd cry. All right. With the holidays coming up, is this just...
It's yes.
We're not having holidays over there? We're doing it with us?
You can do whatever you want.
Place?
I'm not going to. Yes.
I don't, yeah.
And so here's the order. Number one, I'm going to reclaim my autonomy, my strength. I don't love the word power, but I'll give that to you here. You've been through enough. I'm going to reclaim my seat in the front seat of the car that is my life. And since I'm married, sometimes I drive, sometimes he drives. But I'm in the front seat. I'm not in the trunk of my own life anymore. I've had old husbands put me in there. I've had my parents put me in there when I was a kid. I've had abusers put me in there. I will not get in the trunk again. Okay? And then the second step is, hey, honey, I'm going to be sad as all bloody hell that we can't have a regular old, goofy, dumb, complainy, bad ham, cheap wine, get-together holiday. And the third thing is empowerment. The ... So here's what I'm going to do. It's the action part. So I'm going to have the most badass Christmas at my house, and people are welcome, and we're going to dance and laugh, and y'all going to play my stupid games because it's my freaking house.
I don't want to hurt my husband in all this. I mean...
Here's the deal. You can't control that either. He has a right to be super, super sad. But you can't make him feel any kind of way. And I'll tell you this, and I would tell him if he was on his phone, on the phone. If he demands or whatever, even suggests that his wife, who is a multiple time domestic violence survivor, heads into the home of someone who gives refuge to that kind of evil, right?
I feel like you just articulated what I wanted to say this whole time.
Okay, but it's you.
No, my husband would not. He's so good. He's like, well, we're dealing with idiots and we can't control them. And he has this uncanny ability to just turn off his emotions.
Well, he's a cop. He doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's a cop. Yeah. He doesn't turn them off. He shoves them way down. He shoves them down.
Okay, fair enough. That's true. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But here's the thing. Y'all aren't crazy. The part y'all are missing is grief.
Thank you.
It's all grief is the gap between what we wanted to be true and what actually showed up.
Thank you.
And so even if you have to sit down, there's an old William Glasser exercise. Sit down with your husband and draw a car and draw y'all two in the front seat. Literally look at it like children and say, we get to decide where this thing goes. What do we want our house to feel like during the holidays?
Is it wrong of me to not want to see or talk with them at all?
Nope.
Is that too far?
Nope.
I feel so guilty about it.
Okay, choose guilt over resentment. Choose safety over fear.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I tell you I'm really honored by your call?
Well, I appreciate your help. I just look for resources and how do you deal with families who do this, and I'm fighting nothing. And my therapist helped me control me, right? So I won't punch him if I see him, which is great because I did do karate as part of my healing, so I would hurt him. But, no one had a really good way to deal with this, and I just sat in a corner the last time and felt very numb and angry, and that's... Okay. It's just not how to deal with things.
So I want you to use. Oh, but here's the thing. Let me honor you for a second. You tried exposure therapy on your own, for lack of better terms. You tried, and your body said no, rightfully so. And so here's how we go forward. You don't attack your husband. He sounds like he's an awesome guy.
He's great.
You say the words, "This year, I'm choosing safety for the holidays. I'm choosing laughter. I'm choosing silly." And y'all come up with 3 or 4 words. And y'all shake hands on that and then say, so that means we're not going to the in-laws house. That means we're not going to fill in the blank. And with those decisions comes grief. With those decisions comes sadness. With those boundaries comes reality and heartbreak. But nobody should ride in the trunk of their own car anymore. Back to the front seat. Proud of you, my sister. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much for the call. We'll be right back. All right, we all get that feeling like something's off in the world. Actually, there's tons of things feeling off in the world. But right now, I've got this constant hum of anxiety. And a lot of that starts with these phones. I feel like they're listening to us. They monitor every move we make. And when I pull out my laptop, every single keystroke I make is being tracked. We're living in a time when personal information like your name, address, phone number, even your family's information is being bought and sold behind our back without our consent. It's not just a privacy issue. When your personal data is scattered across the internet, we're all carrying this low-level stress, and we might not even be able to put our finger on it. This is why I use Delete Me. Delete Me is a service that hunts down your personal information that's being held on all these shady data broker websites, and it makes sure that it's all removed. It's like digital boundary setting. When you take back control of your information, you don't just feel safer, you are safer, and that helps you feel calmer. And look, it's not about hiding from the world. It's just about choosing what parts of your life are for public knowledge and what's for your private knowledge. If you want less chaos and more control, this is a simple place to start. Go to joindeleteme.com/Delony and use code Delony to get 20% off an annual plan. That's joindeleteme.com/Delony to save 20% off. Go check them out. All right, we're back. Hey, take 2 seconds and hit the subscribe button, or 2 seconds and hit the follow button. I don't know what the overlords want you to do on whatever platform you're watching or listening to the show on, but just take a second and hit the subscribe button on YouTube, wherever you are. It makes a huge difference, and I'm super, super grateful for you. Let's go out to Winnipeg, Manitoba, and talk to Cole. What's up, Cole?
Hi, Dr. John. How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
I'm elbow deep in drywall mud.
Wow, dude. What's it like being like a real guy? That sounds awesome. Man. You can actually do stuff.
You can shower at the end of the day and not the beginning. Fantastic.
Oh, well played, man. You know what? Even the baddest dudes I know at construction stuff, they always are like, no, I'm going to call somebody to do drywall. It's so hard. It's so hard. I tried it once, man, and it was awful. It was awful. All right, so good on you, man. So what's up? How can I help?
I have been so blessed in this whole life, just over and over and over and over the years. I'm in my 40s now. I'm just like blessed and blessed and blessed and blessed. But I feel like I'm losing my wife.
Oh man, tell me about that.
And the prompt that I wrote in to the show was about how she is exhausted at the end of the day. We put our kids to bed at like 7:30, and she falls asleep almost immediately. She's
how old are your kids?
Gone. Like she's sleeping. They are in elementary school.
Okay.
Just almost 7 and 9.
Okay.
And she falls asleep. She's a teacher, and she's rightfully tired. But she spends the whole evening sleeping from like 8 o'clock to 11:30 when I go to bed. And then she gets out of bed when I go to bed. And then I sleep the night and she's up. And then on the crazy days, she'll go back to bed when I wake up. And it's this weird dynamic where we're just like trading off in the bed. And obviously she does go to bed sometimes at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And I'll wake up next to her, but I know she's so sleep deprived.
Yeah.
I don't wake her up, right? You get out of bed like a ninja,
but she still has to get up and go be a teacher, right?
Yes, I don't know how she does it.
Yeah.
Honestly, but I just feel like I'm losing her. I mean, and the other element of the whole thing is that she does not want to be touched. Mm-hmm. Hugs and intimacy and anything to do with physical contact is just out of the picture. Like it just does not happen. And
where's the origin of that? Has it always been that way, or is that new?
Since our 7-year-old was born was when I really noticed it.
Okay. Where
it was like, just don't touch me. And I thought it was a phase, and maybe it was, but it's a long phase.
Yeah, you're on 7 years.
Like
I refuse. I refuse. It would not only be unethical and all that, but it's very hard to do this. I would suggest, so I'm not going to make any diagnostics on this show, but I would suggest that your wife is struggling pretty deeply and she needs to see somebody ASAP.
And she is.
Okay.
And it's been a long time, and it doesn't seem to be changing anything. It doesn't seem to be.
Then she's not meeting with somebody, because anybody worth their salt would ask the questions as part of an intake. Tell me about your sleeping. And she has a dysregulated sleep pattern that is very, very unhealthy, that makes it impossible to have any sort of cognitive clarity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
It's these little bursts of crashing wide-eyed, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
On top of a newly emergent, like, don't touch me. Like there's some big alarm bells going off in my mind that she's really not well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you combine that with stress.
Of course.
Like, there's so many things that stress her out.
Of course.
Crowds and clutter and
yes,
finances and.
But all of those things, all those alarm bells have a central source.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time y'all went on a date and just looked at each other and said hi?
It's been a few weeks.
Okay.
In the summer, we had a couple.
That wasn't a few weeks. That was like months.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and dates are not intimate. Yeah. It feels like I'm going out with my sister. They are not like.
Have you put that on the table?
What would that look like? Because I've heard your question. I'm a big fan of the show, by the way.
Thank you.
I've heard your question of spouses. You're encouraging spouses to ask, "What do you want your house to feel like?" Right, which is a similar question. She hates that question. I have tried it. She does not want to answer that question. It's almost like she doesn't want her house to feel like anything.
That's it. She is avoiding feeling at all costs. That's why I'm worried about her.
Yeah.
It's a ever increasing numbing out. And touch makes you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep makes you feel. Laughter, dancing, joy, exercise, all those things make you feel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's why there's a symptom cluster that when people start taking those away, and life becomes like the old Fight Club, it becomes a copy of a copy of a copy. It's like you're living your life through like an opaque transparency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You sleepwalk through everything.
Yeah, and it's hard for me to understand that.
You can't, but what you can say is, I'll tell you the exact words my wife used for me, brother. I am watching my husband die. Period. That's what my wife said to me, and she was right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And your language may be a little bit different, but it's that direct. I haven't held hands. I haven't hugged. I haven't slept with my wife in 7 years. I miss you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching you not sleep, and I'm watching you melt underneath me. And as somebody who loves you and who's created humans together, I can't stand by idle any longer. And here's my challenge to you.
The next step?
The next step is I'm going to go with you to a 30-day inpatient and drop you off. You're not okay. And if you've listened to my show for a while, you know I don't normally go here. That's where she's at right now. We can't afford it. I'm not going to do it, yada, yada. We have to go do something pretty significant. I love you too much. Does she have anyone in her life that she'll listen to?
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. We have a small group that's pretty awesome.
Is there 2 or 3 women in that group that she would listen to, or will she blow them off?
Yeah, no, she would listen to them. Yeah.
And maybe that's the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess if we back out all the way out in the driveway and just look at the house here, you have to exhale and say, what I've been trying to do, my tiptoeing, my picking up all the slack, my trying to be accommodating, everything on a trend line is getting worse and worse and worse. Mm-hmm. So what I'm doing is not working. The way I'm hearing you describe it is like you're holding a handful of sand and your wife is just beginning to slip through your fingers.
Yeah, I mean, that's maybe a dramatic way of putting it, but yeah.
Yeah. She needs some pretty direct love and care, man. And I recognize this is it's a complex intervention.
Mm-hmm. It's extremely complex because there's never like an acute crisis moment.
No.
Right? It's a slow
suffocation,
fade, a slow bleed.
Yes. Yeah.
Where if something were to happen, we could deal with it and it would be like a moment of clarity or whatever. But as it is, it's just we've gotten here. How have we gotten here? However, it's happened.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Right now, that doesn't matter. What matters is you're in the car and it's driving down the road and you see it heading towards the cliff, and waiting till it goes off the cliff is too long. But the way the things you're describing to me is a person who is slowly shutting all the lights off in their life. And I'm going to be willing to risk anger. I'm going to be willing to risk frustration. I'm going to willing to risk threats, to say, I love you enough to say, I see you hurting. I know you. I know how bad things are getting increasingly not okay. Like you said, a slow drip. I miss my wife. I'm watching you slowly exit the life you live in, and we're going to go get some help. And I'll be right by your side, but we're going to go get some help. And maybe you have that conversation with 2 trusted girlfriends of hers who will show up. Maybe it's just you. I mean, you know the context better. And I don't know what your financial situation is. I don't know what your insurance is. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. But reaching out and saying, I'm worried. And maybe it's even as minimal as calling her current counselor and saying, here's what I'm seeing. And the counselor can't talk to you about his or her client, but they can take one-way calls. You can call their therapist and say, I'm watching my wife disappear in front of me, and I'm about to take an intervention step. Next time, I just need you to know that. And maybe that will dial up the concern of the therapist, but maybe not. If it's been going on for years and they haven't even asked about your sleep and behavioral regulation and stuff like that, then I don't even know how good the counselor is, but I don't want to judge that. I'm not in that room, but all I have to say is I think this is one of those moments I'm going to turn on every light I got. I'm going to reach out and ask some people for help. I got 2 little kids watching this slow suffocation happen, and I'm going to say I miss my wife. And you're here just for this moment, man. I'm grateful for your call, my brother. Hang on the line. I'm going to send you a copy of Building an Unanxious Life, and that can be a roadmap for you and your wife, but she needs professional help and care right now. But the anxiety about health and about money and about all those things, I address those in the book. So hang on the line. I'll send you a copy there, brother. Thanks for the call, man. We'll be right back. I'm beyond thrilled to announce that Montana Knife Company has now joined my team. For years, I have used one company for every knife I need. Montana Knife Company. These knives are designed, tested, and built by real hunters and real cooks. My family and I use these knives in the deepest parts of the woods, in back river creeks, and in our kitchen. When you first pick up a Montana Knife Company knife, you can feel their perfection and their quality. They're the sharpest knives you will ever use right out of the box. They're the easiest knives to sharpen, and they're the toughest knives out there. My grandkids and my great-grandkids will fight over who gets these knives long after I'm gone. They make incredible holiday gifts, and they always sell out before December. Montana Knife Company does limited runs, and so you gotta get them while you can. Give the outdoorsman and the cook in your life knives they'll actually use and pass down someday. Go to montanaknifecompany.com to see what's available right now. That's montanaknifecompany.com. All right, Kelly. Am I the problem?
All right. This is from Sloan in Newport, Rhode Island.
I like the name Sloan.
I do too.
It's a great name. Like cool girls have that name.
Yeah. The girl that was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, it was Sloan. That's the only Sloan I've ever known. And I always just thought that was such a cool name.
I just remember being a young high school kid and knowing there was some older women, like seniors and juniors, and a couple of girls named Sloan. And they're all just like, God, they're so cool. They're just cool.
Yes, it is a great name. All right. So Sloan writes, "Hi, John and crew. I'm looking for thoughts on who is the problem in this situation." She didn't use that word, but that's one we're going to use for this show. "My husband is an aggressive driver, but insists that he's not because he has a quote-unquote perfect record, no accidents. The thing is, I don't care. I feel very frightened when I'm with him in the car, and he knows this. While he has adjusted his speed and aggression over time, it is still what I consider scary and unsafe. Most times when he's driving, I tell myself that I'm never going to do this again, but I do, and I voice my concerns every time. To give you a clear picture, I'd say on the highway his average speed is at least 90 and will speed up to 100 to pass people, and it terrifies me. He knows that I witnessed a horrible accident when I was 11, and I've been fearful ever since. Am I the problem?"
Is this my wife? My wife set me up.
This could be your wife, Dave's wife, James's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, you're not the problem. But the solution is I'm not going to ride in the car with you anymore. I'm choosing to get myself there safely. You feel free to drive, and I'll meet you there. And when my wife started doing that with a smile on her face, I realized I'm making my wife feel not safe, and I stopped. It wasn't like, oh, shut up, I can do it. It wasn't that. I'm terrorizing somebody. So I'm not going to ride with you anymore. I'll drive, and I'll get myself there. If you want to ride with me, cool, but I'll be there, and I'll meet you there. It's that simple. But no, you're not crazy for not wanting to be, A, feeling unsafe all the time, B, having your partner just blow off your safety concerns, and C, driving safely down the highway. So yeah, you're right. Good call. But by the way, the next step is going to be a battle. Just know that's coming. Just know it's coming. Thanks for the call. Bye.